Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Um, yay, my friend is here. This is Dikery. She's been on my channel before, a few times at least.
Yeah,
And you have a YouTube channel now,
I
so
do. I'm so
everyone
excited
can
about it.
subscribe to Dikery. The link should be in the description box. If not, I will add it. Um,
The artist formerly known as T.
right. Exactly. Yeah, so we thought we would talk about Lesbian Visibility Day because that's today, and talk about some of our favorite lesbians in history, and yeah, just hang out and chat and see where things go.
Hell yeah.
Hello, people in the chat. We've got
Hi.
Ice Goddess is here. Willow. Hello, Willow. I'm so visible right now. Hi, Willow. Gravity Onyx, Nena, Lisa, Hazel, so many lovelies. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna dive in. Oh, Irene is here, Nora is here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so what's new in the world of dikery?
What's new? Well, like you said, my YouTube channel is new. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
That's taking up like a good amount of my spare minutes just planning and um having somewhere to focus my kind of scatterbrained like research oriented mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I can keep a list of things that are important to me and start filling in the gaps for myself and planning things. I've been really excited. So that's been really fun.
Mm.
Um, I also recently started whittling, which
Uh-huh.
has been so wonderful. Like it's just so soothing. It's the perfect balcony activity. Um, I haven't made anything that's like recognizable yet, but it's it's so nice to just make little wood shavings
Yeah.
and it smells good and it's like obviously a very like tactile thing, which is good for your kind of brain and to de-stress. So I've been really enjoying that when the weather's nice and it's super nice today. So that'll be my balcony evening after this probably. Um, Other than that, work's going well. I work in women's health and have been
Yes.
for not too long. Like I only recently passed through the probation stage into the like full-fledged employee stage and
That seems to have gone
um
fast though.
it felt fast to me because they just kind of flung me in the middle of a lot of stuff. But yeah, it was just so relieving to get through that stage because
Yay.
like I'm union now and the like
Woo!
protections that offers is so exciting to me. I've never been in a union before. Um and
Amazing.
yeah, so I am starting to feel like I have my like wits about me at work for the first time really, and I've
Oh,
been
I'm so
really
glad.
just like taking in some of the positive feedback I've been getting and that's been really appreciated. So,
Yay.
yeah, just feeling good
I'm
on this
happy.
day of lesbian visibility. I'm visibly lesbian and hanging out with my visible lesbian bestie and so all's
Yay.
good in my world.
Yes. Endeavor said Happy Lesbian Visibility Day. Willow just subscribed to you.
Oh, thanks. And
Can we?
great icon.
Yes, so good. Yay, unions. Hello, Agony's Embrace. Yay. Okay, so tonight we're gonna talk about Lesbian Visibility Day a little bit, what it is, where it came from, and then talk about just we cherry picked a few of our favorite lesbians from history to talk about. There's hundreds we could, but we just got a
Mm-hmm.
few because we don't have
And from history is
forever.
a little bit of a strong word too. Like one of mine's alive. At least one of mine is
Okay,
still alive. So I
fair
don't want
enough.
to like
Yeah,
lesbian
fair.
spanning time.
Okay, yes. All of mine are sadly dead,
Yeah.
but that's okay. And then at the end, once that's done, like we'll just hang out and probably chat for a little bit and just, see where things go.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, Lesbian Visibility Day. It was originally celebrated in July in 1990 in California, but it eventually somehow got moved to April 26th. I don't know why. Wikipedia did not tell me, but just that it had. Yeah. And it was conceived out of lesbians' frustrations with gay men primarily being much more visible, getting much more attention, etc. And so it was intended to gain awareness and sociopolitical capital to present lesbians to the world. Focused around identities, topics, celebrating the lesbian community. Willow said Stormy DeLovery, the butch lesbian who started Stonewall riots, is her favorite historical lesbian. We
Great
love
pick.
Stormy. A few lesbian celebrities have come out on Lesbian Visibility Day. Megan Rapinoe did, Lena Waithe did, Dubrat, the rapper, did. All very exciting. There's lots of lesbian celebrities now these days. So lesbians.
I actually also came out on Lesbian Visibility Day.
You did? That's right.
Not to like anyone in particular, but I had already had the private conversations with my closest family, and I was like, I don't want to deal with doing this over and over again with extended family and acquaintances and stuff. So I came out on Lesbian Visibility Day, I think like 7 years ago, maybe.
Jeez.
Where by just posting selfies in a shirt that said "I love women as a feminist and as a lesbian."
Yes, your green shirt.
Yeah, I still have it.
I kept 7 years ago.
I think so. I'll have to fact check that, but I know where I was living. It was where I was living when you visited me, so it would have been that same year.
Ottawa.
Yeah.
Ottawa. Because that's where I first visited you.
Yeah. Is that when was that 7 years ago?
I guess it must have been.
Crazy. Our friendship is so old.
I know. I know. Well, I was just thinking, is this 10 years this June or 9?
9.
I think it's 10. Okay.
No, it's
2014?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Either way.
I know.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Oh, I know. Okay, so some lesbians we admire. So we couldn't do this without talking about Sappho of Lesbos. She was considered one of the greatest lyric poets. She was called the 10th Muse, the poetess. We are called lesbians because of Sappho, which is so neat. She's from the island of Lesbos in Greece. And then obviously the word sapphic is also derived from her name because she wrote lots of poems about loving women and just lots of general poems.
I really love that lesbian being tied to the place where she is from. Like it's basically saying, I'm from the same place Sappho is from, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh.
Like, I just love it. I think it's so cute.
It is. Some people will try to argue that she was into men or whatever because there was a man she was apparently supposedly associated with named Hercules of Andros. But his name literally translates to like the equivalent of like I have here, Penis McDude from Man Island. Like she was clearly making it up.
Yeah.
She was
and unfortunately that's just the reality of a lot of like the further back you go, the more that lesbians' lives have been like entangled with men out of necessity. But yeah, no, Sappho's a lesbian. You can pry that from my cold dead hands.
Literally. I've also got one of our favorite pieces of her poetry that still, that remains. Sweet mother, I cannot weave. Aphrodite has overcome me with longing for a girl.
We quote this all the time.
All the time. All the time.
Which I think she would love.
I know. She's like literally saying, too gay to work.
Yeah.
Girls are too pretty. I'm too gay to work. Like, I love, it's such a wonderful piece that has survived forever.
I know. Reading her work is really poignant because only the fragments have survived, right? So it's very like very few of her works exist in their entirety, and there's something very I don't know, it's very moving to kind of have to fill in the blanks yourself. I find it, I mean, obviously I'd love to read more of the work if it was available. It's quite sad that we've lost some of it, but it's also just it can be a really moving experience to read it and to be like, how would I fill this in, especially as a lesbian. I
Yeah.
just find it really connective.
Yeah. I know. It's so nice. Oh, I just love this one though. I'm too gay to work.
I know.
Amazing.
My turn. I brought Eleanor Roosevelt,
Amazing.
one of my heroes. I have kind of a lot of information, so I'll try to keep it succinct.
No, please go off. Go off.
She went to an all-girls school with a lesbian headmistress. I did not know that until I did this research, and I was so excited. Her name was Mary Sylvester, and Eleanor like wrote letters to her, like they were close throughout until Mary passed away, and then Eleanor like kept all of her letters and kept a picture of her on her desk. Like they were really close, and it reminds me of the relationship I had with the first lesbian I met in real life, who was like older than me and married and established. Like this woman started this school with her partner, so she would have been like, and her whole thing was educating girls to be independent, free thinkers, and intelligent. So obviously, like I could talk just about her, but we'll move on from that. I thought that a quote that I found that was hilarious was that she referred to sex with her husband, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, as an ordeal to be born. So definitely
sad.
not. Yeah, it is quite sad. But also that quote, like she said that to her daughter, which is pretty funny. I also didn't know that she had a very close relationship with Amelia Earhart.
Whoa.
So I'm going to go ahead and make some assumptions about that. And then probably her most famous relationship was with Lorena Hickok, the Associated Press journalist at the time, who was widely known to be a lesbian, and Eleanor wore a ring that she gave her and was even wearing it when FDR was inaugurated. Like they were pretty, like it was kind of an open secret that they were together. Hick was actually writing a biography about Eleanor, but it ended up getting kind of tanked because, and this is just a theory that I read, but apparently J. Edgar Hoover like blackmailed them. And so she started working for the New Deal instead to keep working close to Eleanor without a not only it was a ring even, which like
that's more
is
symbolic.
even more, it's like that's what you do when you're married. Like it was so wild. And then I moved some of her more political and kind of civil rights related achievements to the next slide, so we'll skip on over. FDR became ill with his paralytic illness in 1921, and that was when Eleanor started taking over for him in speeches and campaigning events, and continued doing that for the rest of his political career. And this was before he became governor of New York in 1928, before he became president in 1933 to 1945. Like you can basically credit a ton of his political achievement to her directly.
Yes.
Which of course I do.
And isn't that the standard for like so many men? It's the women their wives who are doing so much
of course. Like behind every quote unquote great man is definitely a greater woman, and in this case a lesbian. She was considered really controversial at the time because when Pearl Harbor happened, she was immediately very defensive of Japanese Americans and was very openly encouraging people to not fall victim to what we in modern times have seen also the like
Mhm.
panic that Americans and other Westerners can experience and kind of stigmatize an entire race.
Yeah.
And she lobbied to make lynching a federal crime. She was known for her activism for Black Americans and invited hundreds of Black Americans to the White House, which was
For
really
the time.
controversial.
We're
She
talking like
would,
Jim Crow.
yeah, she would greet them at the gate and walk in arm in arm so that there wouldn't be problems with the staff.
Oh my God.
I know.
Legend.
Yeah. So, a couple other things. She was the first ever US delegate for the United Nations and was a big reason why the US even joined the United Nations at the time. The first ever chair of the UN Commission of Human Rights. She
Yes.
drafted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that was adopted by the UN. And she was the first chair of the Presidential Commission on the Status of Women under JFK, which I thought was significant because it's not like it was like she just got the job because her husband was president. Like that was,
Right.
it was a different president.
Yes.
And she is widely regarded as the best first lady that America's had. And yeah, she was the first to make it a role that meant something as opposed to being what was referred to as a backdrop for the president. Yeah, I admire her so much, and we have some really, really beautiful letters between her and Hick that you can read. I just admire her a lot. So thanks for listening. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, T for teacher. That is amazing. I love Eleanor. What a legendary woman.
Yeah, she accomplished so much.
I know, honestly. And like, yeah, like she
And at
really
a time when like women were not supposed to do that.
yes, honestly. And to like have originated like a role for the first lady, not just being like the president's wife, like an active political role. It's
yeah, like you
so
can
great.
really consider the accomplishments of first ladies that came after her to be a part of her legacy, really. Like
Absolutely.
like all of it owes a lot to her, I would say.
So special. I know. Okay. My most favorite lesbian of all time. Ugh, my tragic heroine, Renee Vivienne. She was born in London, but at age 21, she inherited all of her father's money, and so she ran away to Paris and spent all of her father's money on parties and champagne and drugs and living it up. She, yeah, Endeavor said loving the fit. She dressed, quote unquote, like a man. And yeah, she held crazy parties. She dated women like crazy. She also unfortunately cheated like crazy. And she liked married women, women married to men. She was a drug addict. She was known for her, like, this is a quote, champagne orgies.
Oh my God.
I know. She had been dating a really, really rich baroness, Helen Van Zuylen, who was married to a man, of course. And they traveled around the world because they were both so wealthy, so that Baroness Helen's husband wouldn't catch them. So they basically just like traveled to be together. But eventually,
I love it.
I know. Eventually, though, Baroness Helen found out that Renee was also sleeping with other women. I know, and ended the relationship. And Renee was super brokenhearted, and she decided that the best thing to do would be to run away to Japan.
Oh,
like she was just insanely
ready to
rich,
start over.
dramatic. Yes, very much so. Well, yeah. This isn't great and it's not funny, but like she was super just dramatic and whatever. But she did try to commit suicide at one point by taking too much opium and draping herself over her fainting couch, clutching a bouquet of violets to her chest.
Wow.
because Violet was the name of the girl that broke her heart this time.
Oh my God, of course.
I know. I know.
That, wow.
Renee, she was a wild one. Sadly, she died when she was only 31 because she had pneumonia due to her crazy drug and alcohol consumption. But she
and also
was
due to it being 1909.
well, yeah. I mean, she was just a wild. I just love her story.
Oh, what I would give to hang out with her for a day.
I know, she is just so much. Ice Goddess says, what I wouldn't give to be a fly on the wall at those parties. Honestly, the drama of it all. I know, incredibly dramatic. Yeah, she's just my favorite. I just adore her because she was, full of it all.
Lisa said, "Live fast, die young." I was just thinking, like, go hard or go home. Like,
literally,
she just like embodied so many of those little like carpe diem.
Yeah, she spent all of her money and just lived it up. She does need a movie. Renee was amazing.
Oh my God, so true. Wow, I agree with that. That would make a great like lesbian TV show, like the drama, the cheating, the like beautiful sets of going to all these different countries.
I know. The Baroness.
I know. Like, oh my God.
There's just so much. Like, oh, what a legend. They were roommates. Yeah. Okay.
My next pick is the alive lesbian in the bunch, Jeanette Winterson. Is an author. She's a British author, still living, still writing. She's so far written 23 books. Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit was her first book and is probably still her most famous. It's semi-autobiographical. I actually haven't read that one. I am a fake fan. I have not read all of her books. But I just kind of happened to stumble upon her book Gut Symmetries in a bookstore one day, and it's a lesbian novel about a poet and a physicist falling in love, and those are two of my main interests. So I was very hooked right away. And her book, Why Be Happy When You Could Be Normal, is her actual autobiography. It's her memoir, I guess, because it's not her whole life. Yeah, I know, it's a great title. And instead of doing just a bunch of facts about her life, which, I mean, I don't have a ton of because I did a bit of research, but she doesn't seem to be a super public sphere kind of person. I thought I would read a couple of my favorite quotes. So if you don't mind, from her memoir, Why Be Happy When You Could Be Normal, she says, I was going to be away, free, or so it seemed, but you always take it with you. It takes much longer to leave the psychic place than the physical place, which really hit me. Love is vivid. I never wanted the pale version. Love is full strength. I never wanted the diluted version. I never shied away from love's hugeness, but I had no idea that love could be as reliable as the sun, the daily rising of love. And one more from Why Be Happy When You Could Be Normal. Listen, we are human beings. Listen, we are inclined to love. Love is there, but we need to be taught how. We want to stand upright, we want to walk, but someone needs to hold our hand and balance us a bit and guide us a bit and scoop us up when we fall. Listen, we fall. Love is there, but we have to learn it, and its shapes and its possibilities. I taught myself how to stand on my own 2 feet, but I could not teach myself how to love. We have a capacity for language. We have a capacity for love. We need other people to release those capacities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful.
I know. And if you'll indulge me, I'd like to also share a bit from Gut Symmetries, which is the fiction book that I mentioned. This one, my wife and I quote to each other a lot. It's very special to me. She says, I want to love you well, to see you as you are, not as a character in my film noir. I want the unknowableness and intimacy of another human being. If this is going to succeed, it will take years. I will have to find the years because I want to stand before you naked. I want to love you well.
Ah,
Yeah, it really gets me.
dreamy.
And I have one more.
Yes.
I see like a bug, everything too large, the pressure of infinity hammering at my head. But how else to live, vertical that I am, pressed down and pressing up simultaneously? I cannot assume you will understand me. It is just as likely that as I invent what I want to say, you will invent what you want to hear. Some story we must have, stray words on crumpled paper, a weak signal into the outer space of each other. The probability of separate worlds meeting is very small. The lure of it is immense. We send starships, we fall in love.
Mm.
So,
These
if
are
you're a
so
fan of
beautiful.
really kind of poetic, prosy writing, then I definitely recommend Jeanette's work. She is a lesbian, writes about lesbians. Some of her fiction gets a little weird and esoteric, so um, not necessarily everyone's cup of tea. But if you're interested in just kind of the facts about her life, then I definitely recommend her memoir. It's really, really moving. She's
Ah,
had quite a lot of challenges to overcome to get to the place she is now. So, yeah,
that's
thanks.
wonderful. Thank you for bringing her to everybody here tonight.
Yeah.
I have Ruth Ellis. So she was known as the oldest surviving openly lesbian activist. She was 100 years old, and she came out as a lesbian in 1915.
Wow.
So she was 16 years old.
Came out in 1915.
Yes, in
Like,
1950, like
damn.
publicly to her family and everything. And interestingly, her family were like pretty supportive and fine
Oh,
about it.
that's
Yeah, they were
great.
accepting. Um, she had read about homosexuality in a psychology textbook and was like, aha, that's me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not like that
And
would have been presented very positively. So that's like just
right.
so brave of her to
I know.
recognize herself in that and to let it be a like positive truth in her life.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, and like her parents were born into slavery and
Wow.
like the last kind of years of slavery. But yeah, they were accepting of her and who she was. Um so she and her partner of 30 years was Babe Franklin. They met in the 1920s and they had a house in Detroit together. And like in the African American gay community, it was called the Gay Spot, where they would just go and hang out at Ruth's house. And it was like a refuge for African American gay and lesbian people to be safe at. And today, there's the Ruth Ellis Center in Detroit. So it's an organization now that serves homeless LGBT youth. Um, yeah, she was an activist like pretty much all her life for LGBT rights. Um, I don't know. I just love her and that she was, from born in 1899. Like, come on.
Yeah. Wow. She
And
lived through three different, not through, but she lived in three different
yep.
centuries.
Uh huh. Yeah. So like she would have seen like the invention of automobiles
Like
and
everything. Yeah.
radios and televisions and moving
Wow.
pictures and like just crazy to imagine. Hey. And then yeah, she passed away in the year 2000. Um, and her ashes, she had them spread on the grounds of a women's festival.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Very sweet, hey?
That's so special.
I know. So good old Ruth. What a gal.
Here we have Gladys Bentley. She's
Yay!
I love this picture. She's so
I
beautiful.
know. What a dapper babe.
Um she was openly lesbian in the 20s and 30s. She worked as an entertainer in gay speakeasies in Harlem, New York. She was a piano player, singer, and entertainer who was really remembered for being comical, sweet, and risque. She said that she knew from a very young age that she was a lesbian. She had crushes on her female teachers when she was in elementary school. She only felt really comfortable wearing her brother's clothes, and she knew that she wasn't interested in kind of traditional femininity. And she very frequently would she was known for kind of recreating popular music to be about sex.
Right.
So she would like
She was-
rewrite like pop songs to be about fucking, basically. She would sing her
raunchy.
own original, super raunchy. She would sing her own original songs about her lesbian lovers, would flirt with women in the audience. Like, she was just very openly lesbian and joyfully lesbian. And something that was noted about her that I thought was really interesting is that she dressed in men's clothes and like presented very masculine, but never tried to like pass as a man, and didn't consider herself a drag king because that was just how she was comfortable. But she was very like happy in her womanhood as well, and really identified with her lesbianism, and I admire that so much. So
yes,
yeah, I
think
she's great, and she's gorgeous.
I think
I would love to hear you can listen to some of her
that's
music
what I was just
still.
about to
Yeah.
say. I'm pretty sure
I'd love to listen to more of her like raunchy stuff that she was doing in the speakeasies, but later on in life she did do like a lot of like blues singing, and unfortunately her life includes also her kind of walking back some of the lesbian pride that she had in this era. So don't research unless you want to be a little sad about that. But but you can listen to some of her blues music still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Gladys. Legendary, honestly. And these outfits are the best. I know.
I know.
Like top hat.
I'm like jealous of like,
coattails.
look at like it like fits her body really well. Like I can't like where are we supposed to, like I don't even know where to find clothes that are like I guess masculine but like fit women's bodies. Like I'm
have
like
to get
jealous
it tailored.
of her fit. Yeah.
Love seeing women have the bravery to be confident in who they are. Honestly.
Me too.
My second most favorite lesbian of all time, Queen of Sweden, Christina. She took the throne at age 18. So her father, the king, died when she was much younger, but she took the throne officially at 18. And she was one of the most educated women of the entire 1600s.
Wow.
She was the fourth child born to her parents. She had two older sisters who unfortunately did not live past childhood, and then a stillborn older brother. And then when she was born, like everyone kind of thought, like, ugh, the king's gonna be pissed. It's not a son. But he adored Christina. He insisted that she should receive all of the education that would have been afforded to her if she had been a son. So she was very well educated. And she even had like fencing and horseback riding lessons for like a girl in the 1600s. That's
I love that.
Scandalous. And she also went with her father and his men on like bear hunts and stuff. Like, yeah, like she was treated like the little prince, but she was a princess. And yeah, they just wanted her to be as educated as a boy would have been, and she was very well educated.
What a concept.
I know, but she caused major scandal because she abdicated her throne when she was queen.
Wow.
Because she was expected to marry and have children, and she
was
like, no.
So do you know how long she served as queen?
I can look.
Or I guess we can do the math. She was born in 26 and she took the throne when she was 18. So that would have been 42. And then she abdicated in 54. So she was queen for 12 years.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. But then she was like, not going to have any
Wow.
kids,
Imagine
nor
being
a
queen
husband.
of a country for 12 years and then having to like walk away from that because they like were trying to force you into that.
Yeah. She was like, none
Wow.
for me, thanks.
Good for her.
I know. So, in her autobiography, these are some quotes. She felt an insurmountable distaste for marriage, and for all things that females talked about and did, and that it takes more courage to marry than to go to war.
Literally. She said braver than the US Marines.
Yeah. So she was too focused on her studies and her education. She often never combed her hair and like got dressed in a hurry. She wore men's clothing. She was disheveled all the time. Wore men's shoes. Like she was just, reading her books, and she had no time for marriage. But she did have a long-term relationship with Ebba Spar, her girlfriend. And they had lots of very intimate and raunchy letters between the two of them.
Yes.
I know. So, yeah. And I have here in my notes, as an adult, it was said that Christina walked like a man, sat and rode like a man, and could eat and swear like the roughest of soldiers.
Love it.
I know. And Pope Alexander VII described her as a queen without a realm, a Christian without faith, and a woman without shame.
Yes.
I know.
Oh, wow.
What a legend.
Goals.
I know. I love her. She also is one of the very few women at all to be buried in the Vatican grotto.
Oh.
Yeah. So she abdicated her throne and then pretty much left Sweden, went traveling, settled in Rome for a while, but traveled around like Scandinavian countries and northeastern or northwestern Europe. Um, but yeah, after she left the throne, she just kind of traveled and did her own thing. So good for her.
Yeah.
I know. She's like, no marriage, no sons, none of that for me. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
Peaced out.
I love that. I love her. Another one that like, where's the TV show?
I know. I know. Yeah. It gives me hope seeing women being so brave and nonconformist, even in such regressive eras. Yeah. She was a legend. She was so great. Queen Christina. Oh, is that it? That's it.
That's it. Well, it's actually not it because I did have one more, but I didn't want to put a slide in because I didn't want you to know that I was going to do it. But one of the lesbians that I admire most in the whole wide world is you.
Stop it right now.
So I just wanted to take a minute to
oh my God.
just tell you about some of the things that I admire about you.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Okay.
I think that you are devoted as hell to just so many incredible things. Your job, first of all, you are widely recognized as being the best of the best at it. To lesbian visibility, you put countless hours into work to spread lesbian positivity, visibility, history, and have touched thousands of people. Your activism, your friendship as a sister, and your devotion to your own personal growth are all just staggering. You have the best work ethic of like pretty much anyone I've ever met. And you are just so wise and so kind and you take no shit at all. And I admire you a lot. And I appreciate you so much on this Lesbian Visibility Day.
Oh my gosh. That was really wonderful. And I am bashful. And thank you. I love you.
I love you
feel
too.
all those wonderful things about you. Oh man. Why did you?
I got you.
Oh, thank you. That was really nice to say. Thanks, Lisa. Well, Lily, oh gosh. Thank you. That
You
was very
deserve it.
nice. I'm
You're
trying to
welcome.
accept the compliments.
Good.
I think you are so wonderful and admirable, and I think you have been through a lot and you have come through a lot, and I've been so lucky and privileged to like see your growth from like not even knowing if you identified as a lesbian to like now being a member of the lesbian collective in Vancouver. Like I just, I've been so lucky to see your journey, and I've been so grateful, and I just love being friends with you.
Me too.
Hmm. Yay, lesbians!
I know.
Aw, thank you. That's really nice. Thank you. Thanks, Irene. Don't sound like a performative bye. Aw, but I love lesbians so much. Thanks. Well, we're happy to chit chat, I think, for a little while.
Yeah. When you posted about doing some streams this week, I saw you kind of asked for some ideas. Did anybody give you any little topics that you wanted to touch on? I know I'm kind of springing this on you, and you
That's
might not
okay.
have that in front of
Well,
you, but
it's okay. I can look very easily. Um, let's see here. Well, primarily people were asking for like um lesbian positivity, like
heck.
I know, yeah, yeah, yeah. Where was that one comment? Um,
I just
yeah,
think it's important. Like I get why people were asking for that, because it's really hard to find these days.
mhm.
Like it can be like quite lonely if you don't know how to kind of find the right people and look in the right places, because lesbian positivity has been kind of co-opted, um,
Yeah.
and oh my god, speaking of that, here's something. Did you see everything go down with her today?
Okay, I literally was just gonna say, what about went down with her today? What the heck?
So the
I
dating app Her, which is marketed to be for women seeking relationships with women, um, has been like known to be
extremely
prioritizing
lesbophobic.
men, catering to men, lesbophobic, um, both men who identify as women and just men also. Like it is just overrun. Um, and I like I'm personally not on the dating scene at all, but the women that I do know who are like know to stay away from Her
Mm-hmm.
because it is a cesspool. But today they decided today on Lesbian Day of Visibility was the perfect day to take a firm, hard stance against quote unquote TERFs on all of their social media, and went on just like a
Super
clearly
misogynistic, like, and
so
graphically
misogynistic, very like
misogynistic.
clearly male social media rampage about how lesbians who only want to date women are like in denial, um and just in calling for anybody who have the UK suffragette colors in their Twitter display names to be blocked because it's a turf dog whistle, and
Yep.
like they went hard enough that it was enough to get their official Twitter suspended.
Suspended.
And then they put out another statement on their Facebook just backing the like marketing team and the individual who posted those tweets, saying like that they have so much more to say to TERFs and they like stand behind it 100%, and it's all over their TikTok and stuff too. Like it's a huge just marketing
Yeah.
scheme, but totally at the expense of lesbians on a day that's supposed to be
About
like about and
lesbians.
for us. It just really adds insult to injury. Like it, ugh.
I know. I was looking for the statement they posted, but I can't actually find it. Oh, here. Oh, frick, this is a French language version. Where's
I think I have it. I can.
or maybe I have it in my screenshots. No, I don't. But yeah, their statement was like really gross, and they posted like some really nasty lesbophobic tweets. I feel like, oh, maybe my friend sent it to me, or was it you?
I sent you something, but I don't know if
Oh, it must have been you. Oh yeah, okay, I found it. So here's the statement they put out. It says, Happy Lesbian Visibility Week. We're celebrating all our L's, every single one. The Her community is proud to be a safe and inclusive space for trans and non binary lesbians, and that's something that will never change. If this bothers you, then we are most definitely not the app for you. We are zero tolerance when it comes to hate speech or any other kind of phobic nonsense. So, TERFs, take your negativity somewhere else because we don't want it here. XOXO, the Her community.
And it's so telling that you felt the need to say that today on Lesbian Day. Like, it's just another piece of evidence to add to the TERF means lesbian pile.
Yep. Yep. And some of their tweets today were just so vile. Like, just graphically rapey, sexual, gross.
Yeah.
Uh, it was awful. But,
And the Facebook one says, Today's Lesbian Visibility Day, and this week you might have noticed we've let our resident Sagittarius loose on the company Twitter. As a brand, we're here to take back the term lesbian from the clutches of TERFs and bigots who've tried to weaponize the word to fuel their transphobia and hatred. Today, let's ensure all lesbians are seen, celebrated, and embraced regardless of their gender. Join us in recognizing our lesbian community, including trans and non-binary lesbians, today and forever. So apparently we have stolen the term lesbian and weaponized it.
right? Like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, just absolutely, like, off the rails.
I just saw a tweet that's not really, well, it's somewhat related, but it says, Good Housekeeping has put together a list of the 11 best dating apps for lesbians. The top 5 are all explicitly marketed to men. The other 6 also allow men to use them. Great.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not looking at it now, so apologies, but I saw somebody in the chat say that not all gay apps are like Her. I'd actually be really interested if you have any examples of like genuinely gay apps, whether it's for dating or just connecting with other people. I don't really know of much that exists that isn't like fully prioritizing like gender experiences.
The only one I can think of is Club Monocle, which they are owned and operated by TERFs. And they're women only for women, but it is also like you have to pay and it's not very widely used.
Yeah.
At all, unfortunately. And then there's that app Giggle, but it's not for dating, but it is for women only. And you have to like in order to get on the app, you have to do a voice thing so they can filter out the men.
That's I'm fine with that. Like I like join women only discords that have security and verification, and I'm like, good. Referring to the chat, I wouldn't say Grindr is captured because I don't think women have as much luck barging into men's spaces as vice versa. But I do also know that there is definitely a number of trans identified females who feel entitled. To use Grindr, hook up with guys on Grindr, who call men bigots for not being interested with hooking up with them because they don't have penises, shit like that. Like, I see it. But I would say it's just not quite at the same level because, I mean, I would think it's because this is a bit of a generalization, but a lot of men are identifying as women to sexualize women and to gain access to women. And a lot of women are identifying as men to escape womanhood and to not have to be treated as women. So it's kind of, it's apples and oranges. It's not exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and yeah, TIFs are no threat though in comparison to TIMs. That's right. So there's two things here: is trans-identified females are no threat to gay men, and gay men have that male entitlement and privilege and whatever socialization to not take any of the bullshit from the TIFs. So
Yeah, like I've seen, you know, trans identified women being pissed off about not getting hookups on Grindr, but they're not getting them. And
right.
those men aren't being like canceled or fired or assaulted. So it's really not comparable. Like girls are crying about it on the internet, but nothing like real is happening about it. I mean, at least not yet. Like I don't see it.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, so yeah, Grinder is, yeah, it's still pretty male
So
dominated.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Grindr's probably pretty safe from the trans stuff, but it also doesn't really um help lesbians.
No. Yeah, there is nothing for lesbians. Unfortunately. And if there is, then it gets infiltrated by men straight away.
Yeah, just right away.
Immediately. And yeah, good times. I I have been banned from her, the app, years and years and years ago for being
Badge
a
of
TERF.
pride.
I also, the funniest story ever is I used to work with the Her app. What is the, like, I was like a partner, like I had like
Affiliate?
a, yeah, that's the word, affiliate. Thank you. And I had like I received commissions for like people joining, that kind of thing, whatever. Um, and they reached out to me. It was not the other way around. They reached out
Yeah,
to
they just
me.
wanted to capitalize on your audience.
Right. So they reached out to me and were like happy to partner with me to promote their app, whatever. And that was all fine. And then eventually, like maybe a year and a half in, they got a lot of complaints that I was a TERF. And they decided to terminate the partnership. And I was like, okay, whatever. I wasn't making anything decent anyway. But it was just so funny to me that, like, they either, there's two situations here. Either they, in the beginning, knew I was a TERF and created a partnership anyway, and then backed down hard when they got called out for it, or they didn't vet me at all
Yeah.
and went ahead anyway. And I'm not really sure which one is worse. Like,
Yeah.
they're both equally as bad.
Yeah. They're both bad business practice, but one of them is cowardly and one of them is just dumb. Like just
Right.
ignorant.
Right. I know. Yeah, not the app pandering to transbians. I know. Yeah, cowards. Ultimate mark of authenticity for women. Great comment, Lepto.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Are you and your wife doing anything to celebrate Lesbian Visibility Day today?
Unfortunately not. Like it's a work day for both of us. I was really excited to do this with you, but
Yeah.
she isn't even home. She had to go right after work for a doctor's appointment. So like just like a busy weekday,
Yeah.
but we are going to a lesbian visibility event this weekend hosted
Oh.
by Vancouver Rape Relief and
Oh.
guest presented by one of the women who founded the Get the L Out UK movement.
Oh, who? Do you know?
I am blanking on her name now. Hold on. I'm very
Oh,
excited
it's
though.
is it Angela Wild?
Maybe.
I'm looking on their social media, but they didn't post anything.
Yeah, it hasn't been. It's like by invite only, and it's
Yeah, that's
female
good.
only, which is very exciting. So that's probably why we also wanted to, like, that's why it's not, it's Leanne something.
Okay. Willow, yes, Rape Relief, congrats. So
Thank you. We love them.
yeah, and you and I have been there for like a
Yes, we
tour
have.
and to meet the staff and
Yeah,
um,
that's like, if I kind of trace back, that's really what like launched my connection to the
to them.
Vancouver Lesbian Collective. Like
I
that's
know.
that's how I met some local lesbians who then invited me to these lesbian potlucks that they were holding. That was just like a social thing. But that's how
Oh,
I met lesbians who were more politically organized,
focused,
and
yeah.
they were the ones who were doing the Lesbian Collective, which is a political activist group, and that's how I got connected to them. So it all comes back to you. You getting me introduced to VRR.
Yeah, well, it was such a great day.
Yeah, it was.
I remember it was a beautiful day, and yeah, it was so nice to go and like just hang out and meet the staff, and yeah, and now look what it sewed. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. Yeah. Um, let's see here. Got some chat about peaking in the chat. That's good. Oh, 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 Lepto is a monthly donor to Rape Relief.
Yes, squad, me
Me as
too.
well. um, anything counts. That's right.
Definitely. Yeah, not same here, Lepto. Like I am pretty broke over here, but I mean, it's worth it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the very few places where I
Yes.
know my money is going to something that I believe in and isn't being like co-opted by other movements, like a lot of
Yeah.
um like women's organizing and lesbian organizing is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, they 100% will never ever back down, which is wonderful. They have been through a
and
lot.
now it's entrenched in law.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like
am
they won
just
their case, you can't make them.
yes, it's so good. But if if anyone in here today does have like an extra dollar or two to spare, I would recommend making a donation to Vancouver Rape Relief because they did lose their $30,000 grant from the city of Vancouver.
Yeah.
Um, and they truly will not tolerate any of the gender BS, and they are specifically women focused, and it's
And
a great place for your money to go.
And I think that it's also good to acknowledge that they don't deny service to anyone. They will do their like crisis service
Yep.
for any gender. It's just the transition house,
Shelter. Yeah.
like the shelter itself, where women who are fleeing male violence is female only, and their volunteers are female only,
Yeah.
and they are very protective of that,
Yeah.
and um,
Yeah.
and I
And
think
it's
that's
wonderful
beautiful.
how
Yeah.
how much they stand their ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very much so. Can't say the same for the local women's shelter in my city, sadly.
Yeah.
There is a man in there right now as we speak.
I just can't imagine like the most vulnerable women are so disproportionately impacted by this issue, and then
Yeah.
the like privileged idiots on Twitter are saying that they know everything, and they're like, I've thought of everything, nothing can go wrong. Like, okay, that doesn't actually help women who are homeless or women who are in prison and like have nowhere else to go and are forced to like be in a space with potentially violating violent
Yeah.
men.
And even if they aren't violent? Like,
Yeah.
that woman
How
deserves
could you
a
know?
space away from men.
Yeah, that too.
Ugh. Ugh. Gross. But yeah, vulnerable women have less time to try and speak out.
That's a great point, and that's why we have to do it.
That's right.
Like, someone's gotta.
Mm-hmm. It frustrates me so much because, like, in my city, I work very closely with our local population experiencing homelessness. And a huge proportion of that are Indigenous women, survivors of, or the children of survivors of residential schools. And I have clients who, are frequently at the women's shelter, and there literally is a man staying there right now, who is like 0% transitioning, but identifies as a woman, and
that's all it takes.
Yep, it
they
is
roll
so
out the red
frustrating.
carpet.
That's right. And it frustrates me that they're so captured by this ideology. And then I have these vulnerable women who I work with every single day who are like, they tell me what's up, and what can we, I don't know what to do. I have personally written to the CEO of this shelter to be like, what the F? And she has declined to acknowledge my emails. So that's great. Great.
Thank you for doing that, even though it didn't shake anything out. You never know. You never know the impact.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks, but that's where we're at right now. But we have to keep writing and keep speaking, and
definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we will, and we have.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's been wonderful, and even doing some real activism with you.
Yeah.
Kristen, I made a video about the theater protest we went to.
That was really, it was really rewarding to get to do that with you.
Mm-hmm. It was so funny because that night, I don't want to say her name, but you know who from Rape Relief. She said, she was like, we'll make sure to organize all our protests for when you're in town. She said that.
That's so cute.
I know, it was so cute. Yeah. Anyway, that was really fun. I mean, it was for a good cause, obviously, but I enjoyed being there with you and your wife and all the wonderful women that were there.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you've had a long day and your wife's going to be home soon.
Yes, that's true. And I don't have any other lesbians to list out. But it's always such a joy to do this with you, and I know I already lavished you with my appreciation, but I just want to say that I love you and how grateful I am that you have been so welcoming in this kind of YouTube sphere as well. Like you've been so dedicated and put a lot of work into it over multiple years, and for me to just kind of tiptoe in and you to
oh my gosh,
give me such a warm welcome makes me feel so nice. So I appreciate it.
The water's fine.
I appreciate all of you who have been so actively listening and participating in the conversation in the chat, and I look forward to spending some more time in this awesome little community.
Yes. Yes. So everybody subscribe to Daiquiri's channel. The link will be in my description box of this video, but there it is on the screen, because she's going to be making some videos, which is exciting. So thank you so much for working on this with me tonight and being here and sharing your lesbians with us. And thanks for everybody in the chat. It was very nice to see all the familiar faces. It's my third stream this week.
I know,
Monday,
oh my God,
Tuesday, and
powerhouse.
Wednesday. I know. There'll be no more this week. But Lisa might be streaming on Friday, so y'all can, find her at her channel. And thank
and happy
you.
Lesbian Visibility Day to all the
Happy
lesbians in the
Lesbian
chat.
Visibility Day. And have a great evening. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.